Did I forget how to make IEM reviews? I might have. Welcome back to In-Ear Fetish. Sorry for the long break. I was just busy with leaks and house and family and all that other great stuff that life has. Happy, light, airy, cheap. Ikko OH300s. So Ikko's messaged me a couple times and they're like, hey, maybe possible future collab. So like, we're going to send you a couple things. Tell me what you think about it. And I got these, and I thought they looked really cool. Here, I'll take them on my ears. They're a see-through acrylic with the circuitry behind. That's it's basically, I think that's actually it, unless you're faking it, because this is a single dynamic, so you don't really need a lot of circuits. You know, I think they're faking it. Hold on, wait. No, you know what? I'm looking through the back here. And there's definitely wires. This is actually really the circuitry that's going through it. Kind of like the Awful Performer that has a circuit board. So does this $41 IEM. Currently $41 on Hi-Fi Go. And also, however this looks clear and black, what you need to do, and I'm not capable of it because, hey, it's rainy out today. But if you go in the sun, these apparently turn blue with UV light. This will fade to a different color using a weird photogenic process called photochromatic material uniqueness. You know, I was kind of like, I put them on and I don't know I try not to do like research. I know this shines in all my other videos, but I don't want to know what something's worth and I want to just assess it. So I'm sitting here listening to it and it's like, huh, that sounds really good. And then I'm like, well, wait, what are we competing with? Are we competing with 80, 90, 100? Or are we just going to be the king of the $50? And I don't think these are like going to beat the Reds. And it's got to compete with my other collab, which is coming out soon, the JoJo's, for fun. But these are still 10 millimeter Ikkos. If you don't know, Ikko has made a couple really good bangers, I would say. I swapped tips. It comes with a number of tips, which is actually pretty good for a $40 set. Two different styles. We've got the ball style, or the bullet style, and then the bullet hell style. I don't know how you want to call it. So I don't use stock tips because usually they don't fit me. I need very big for my right. So linked in the description of all these videos are all the tips I try to use. And I started off with the X-Elastics. The Set and Fit X-Elastics. And then I finished, literally, 2, with the render tips, which these are the ones from the Rinko collab, which are the foam silicone wrapped. And honestly, I think these calm the bass down. That's weird to say, but I was like, kind of like backed up when I was using the Set and Fits. And with these render tips, it's tighter. It's a much tighter bass note. It's like a kick drum. It's like an actual kick. It's faster. These are really fucking good. Like it's gonna be hard. It's kind of weird when you get like a $20, $30, $40, $50 IEM. You're like, all right, is this competing with $30 IEMs, or is it competing with 50? It doesn't fucking matter. Honestly, I don't tell me, you're the people watching this. You guys matter the most. Should I like try to quantify IEMs into such small little price brackets? Like, do people have a $33 budget for IEMs and they can't possibly stretch it to 41? Because I feel like if you could buy a $30 IEM, you could buy a $40 IEM, you could buy a $50 IEM max. And then it's like 100, 500, 1500. It just exponentially. So I'm using it on a different series. I wasn't prepared to do IEMs today, but I'm so far behind. So I've got the CMA 15, the Rebel amp, the OON S9C reference DAC, the topping A70 Pro, because I definitely need 17 watts of power for these, and this IEM, which I'm playing with for headphone testing. And I actually just turned the R2R DAC on for the Musician Pegasus, so it's actually a little bit wonky when I go and plug it into the Woo. Let's see, hold on. You know, R2R DACs need to like get to thermal level before they sound right, so I'm just going to ignore that for at least an hour. Low 50% power on this, and then low gain on the Rebel amp at noon, a little bit punchier. So because it's a dynamic, dynamics love to give a shit what you're powering it with. And I'm getting just the slightest bit. I haven't turned this. Actually, you know what? I probably should. I'll turn the Aries on too, because why the fuck not? Dynamics like to take the flavor of the amplifier a little bit more, because there's a lot of circuitry going on here to like control the frequencies. So having different amplifiers to push through all those little components on the outside of it that look like that doesn't hurt. If it was I feel like if this wasn't an IKO, if this was some other cheaper, just single dynamic, it would be literally wire connector, speaker terminals, the end. And then they're real easy to drive. This one's actually got a little bit, it needs a little bit of love, a little bit of shoving behind it. Let's not die with this. Hold on. Sub bass down, surround 0. Actually no, bypass down is bypass. Get these here. Gain low. Play music. I don't know if it's because it's a tube or because it's this particular thing, but it's definitely different than it was on the 2 solid states. Even the Class A. I guess I should describe more sound, because it's been a while since I've done an IEM review and I forget how to do it. It's not a soundstage king. Like that's the one thing that I try to notice first is like, all right, am I listening to music here or here? Or way the fuck out here. An IKO OH5, because I did the OH10, the OH7, and the OH5. OH5 is literally, you're parked between 2 stadiums and they're both playing the same song. Hundreds of miles away. This is a little bit more here. It's a little focused. It's very soft. The first thing I thought of was like, oh, this is nice. This is just soft. This is a comfortable sound. It's nothing that's gonna like, I don't think you're gonna like the Red. If I have to compare to the Red, because I think everyone has heard of the Red. Everyone's either owns the Red or wants to buy the Red, the Truth Ear Red. And I feel like that's the very, it's trying so hard to be like an expensive quality sounding IEM, where this is how the sound stage is, this is how the frequency response is, and it's working. It works. It absolutely does. It sounds way more expensive than it is. I had to swap to these render tips to get it to be like a little bit more fun. I need a little bit of fun in my sound. I'm not putting on IEMs to analyze my music. And if I am, I'm usually doing it with $1,000 IEMs, and I'm doing it to analyze amplification. Like the Soft-Ears Twilight. So with like a $50 IEM, or in this case a $40 IEM, I want more fun. And these absolutely don't offend, deliver the fun. There's been a couple like super cheap boys too that have come out recently that I'm just like, oh shit, this is really good. Like we're at the point now where I think if it's $40, as long as I give it a thumbs up, you could put it in your maybe pile. Now we're playing favorites. We're playing like, well, are you an IKO fanboy? Are you a Truth Ear fanboy? Do you like Critical? Do you like me? Do you like, well, DMS doesn't have an IEM. Thank God, it'd be painful. Love you, DMS. These are I'm trying to think of ways to say this without being boring. That's why wallpapers are here also, because I'm just rambling and mumbling and boring. I feel like I haven't listened to enough music. Ooh. Epic Scores doing trebly things. You know what? I'll say that. It has a lot of control. As much as I'm like, oh, I like fun, and I like let it go, and the Reds are a little bit too strict, and how they didn't put all this shit here just to be like, whatever. This is doing things to actually shape the sound. Like there's treble happening here that I feel like, what song is this? This is Glaring Light from Epic Score, or Glaring Lights. And it's not even bass. You see those big bursts? That's just treble. That was a little bit of bass. And it's a comfortable amount of bells and ding-dongs and doodle. It's like they're banging on a wind chime with a fucking sledgehammer. I don't know if you could hear this. All right, let's see if we can get one of these out of here. It kind of sounds like Akira, actually. And it doesn't hurt. I guess that's the biggest praise I can give to a $40 IEM. Are you accomplishing the bringing me joy of music? Yes. Does it hurt when you do so? No. Win. $40. They're comfortable. They're the right shape. They're the size of a full-size IEM. If you just handed these to me and said, how much are these worth? Unless I started really analyzing the inside, and even if I did analyze the inside, I would be like, I don't know. From visual aspects, it could be quite a bit. I do want to point out it's a fucking QDC cable, which it's not you can use a 2-pin on it, but QDCs by default have a lift, and there's this shield that goes around it, and they're usually very right angle-y or 45-degree EE, which can help with comfort. I'm not actually having a problem with the way this is fitting over my ear. It just means if you're going to use an alternate cable, because it is only a 3.5 millimeter, right angle 3.5 millimeter, kind of really long and extended. And then the 4-wire twist is actually alternating green and red. You can barely make it out. They're like the dullest thing, but this is basically a Christmas cable. It's very straight. It's got a proper thickness. It bends, it flexes, it goes up to a 2, but it is a QDC. So that might turn a couple people off because they want to use their own cables. You can still use 2-pin cables on it. It's just going to be extended and then probably loop outs, which could be weird. You know, these get an approval. This is my first review of the day. This is my first review in 2 weeks of IEMs, or even longer than 2 weeks. I scheduled the last one, so it's been like a month. I'm going to go upstairs and have some coffee. And we're going to see if the next one I pick randomly off the shelf. Because this one I kind of wanted to get out of the way. I was like, no, I just got these. I burned them in. Give them a listen. What would your opinion be? Like, if I collab these, I'm trying to think what I would change. And it's very hard because it's like, it's just doing its thing. And because of all of this, would be probably super easy for them to modify the way that it sounds. I might bump the mid-range up a bit. I feel like it's got good control over the highs, and the bass, especially on like these tips, is very controlled. I wouldn't want to overdo the bass, overblow the bass. That's other things are for. But I just want to warm up that mid-range. That's my taste. I get a little bit more emotional when the vocals are just like warm and soft and touching you. So yeah, no. Do I approve of these? Fuck yeah. I mean, they're $40. Get a set. Get these and COS Pro 4As. No, don't do that. Don't do that one. No, COS 4. What the fuck is it? Wow, hold on. KPH 40. Holy shit. My brain is literally not on. I'm going to go have coffee. Wallpaper in the Wallpaper Horde. Link to these. If I sound like I'm rambling and tired, it's because I am. Hopefully, drugs will fix that. In the form of the Colombian man and a mule was what he used to sell coffee, right? Anyway, yeah, support channel, Patreon, subscribe, star, helps buy coffee. I need that. Need it real bad. Also, a mouse pad. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. Everything is nice. This is a nice review. Nice.